All right, here is vocabulary for day 3. The first word is the word true. Something is true when it's, right, when it's a thing, when it actually exists. So I'm going to say something. This is not a very good definition because the definition for true is actually pretty tricky. But something that actually is. Like an example for this would be something like, let's change color real quick. No, switch to that. There we go. Something like 3 equals 3. That is always the case. Something that's going to be always, or something that's always going to work no matter what. That's something true. Another thing could be like a square is a square. A square is always a square. That is always going to be true. Square is square. Something is always itself. In math, most of the time, when we're talking about true, we mean when something is equal to itself, because that's always like obvious. Next is false. False is basically the opposite of that. So when something is not, something that is not, something that doesn't work, something that will never work, something like 3 equals 5, or that Mr. B is ugly. That's never going to be true, and so it is false. Something that is false is something that's never a thing. Last is an operation. Specifically, and you don't have to jot this down, but specifically when I talk about an operation, I'm talking about a binary operation, which are the things like plus, minus, times, and divide. An operation is a verb. It is an action. It is something that tells us what, or let me say it like this, tells us how two numbers interact. So it's something that tells us how two numbers interact.